What is going on, everyone? So now we are going to give you the track guide for the Mx-5 at Virginia International Raceway North Course. This is to do with the From the Beginning video series that we've just started for how to learn all about your iRacing career and where to begin and how to follow the steps to make it a productive one instead of just sort of mindlessly bouncing through it and not really knowing, because there's so much going on with these with iRacing, and there's so many great little things that a lot of people don't know about. So we thought we'd break it down from the start for everyone, so that anybody that's coming into iRacing or that's just started can follow these and hopefully get a little bit out of it and understand how the processes of everything work and how to maximize the most out of your racing and just in general having more fun. So the first one is obviously Mx-5 at Virginia International Raceway North Course, so looking forward to give you that. Here are your settings for the server, so temperature and the car setup. So hopefully this helps you when you're practicing, and let's get into it, guys. Alright guys, so now we're going to break down the lap. So as you come past the start finish line, you start to track yourself out to the left hand side of the circuit. So, and then you're looking to set yourself up right alongside the white line just before the one board. So roughly about here. So I'm braking like, I'd say probably 1.5 meters, 2 meters before the one board. So nice big brake pressure. All the way back to second gear as you're coming into the corner. Now the trick is to actually turn the car in at the correct point. If you can do that, you're actually going to maximize a lot of time here. So as you get to this point here, you'll start to see the white line does like a funny sort of, it comes in towards the circuit and then it starts to go back out towards the circuit. So I actually use the white line as my marker until I get to the dead grass and there's just the sand patch, right? So once I get to this point here, I actually start to turn the car at the corner. So turn the car at the corner. Now, when you turn in, you don't want to clip the apex too early. You actually want to clip the apex at this point here, which is about 2 green squares from the end of the curb on the inside here. And then you want to start to apply the throttle nice and aggressively. The car's going to slide off. Now, that's not a bad thing here, because if you notice, the corner continues to go round and round and round and round and round. So it's like a double apex style of corner, but you're apexing really late at the initial turn in, and then you want to apex quite late at the second part of this corner. So you sort of stay a bit wide here, and you'll see I'm sort of in line with, there's like, it looks like a well, it doesn't look like it is. It's a white ute, and it's the iRacing officials service ute. So once you get in line with that, then you start to turn the car back at the corner, and you want to get to this point here. So you actually want to go past the curb on the left hand side, and you want to be in line with the building, like the pit wall building. If you're in line with there, you're able to get nice and close to this white line, carry a lot of speed through here, shift up to third. Now as you turn in, you want to turn in, still being in line with the building as you turn in, and then you want to sort of let the car run wide. Now there's the tyre bundle just here directly in front of us, so I kind of use that as a bit of a reference, and then I use the next house as a little bit of a reference, and I just want to let the car track out as close to the edge of the road as possible. Now I'm not going right to the curb, I'm going to about this point here, so I'm using the circuit, but there's a little bit of extra space there if I really need it. And the reason I'm doing that is because the rear does tend to want to sort of step out on you a little tiny bit as you turn the car in. So if you're too close to that grass, in previous builds of grass, you catch the grass, the car spins out, you slide for 100 mph into the fence. Now the grass actually stops you, it's probably not as risky, but I still like to just give myself a little tiny bit of space there just to make sure. Stay in third gear, turn in at the end of the curb on the right hand side here, so start to turn the car at the corner now that we've got to the end of the curb. A little bit of curb over this part is fine. Then the car's going to slide out, right out to the edge of the road. So use all this road here. Tyres on the curb. Use all the runoff behind, and then start heading down. Still in third gear. Now you're going to see the asphalt change colour right here. So you see how it's like a real shiny polished bit in the middle? That's my brake marker reference. Now, I know it's not a great marker, and if you're in traffic, it's going to be even harder to spot. But that just gives you a rough understanding of where you need to be braking. This corner is definitely more of a fuel corner. So as you sort of get more acquainted and customized to the car and the track, you'll start to go, oh yeah, it's brake time. And you won't even be really looking at the part on the circuit that I'm sort of pointing out to you. It's more just a feel, bit of muscle memory, and you'll go, yep, I know what I'm doing here. So third gear, back to second gear here. Now as you turn in, I wouldn't say it's a late turn in, but I'm actually sort of, when I turn the car, there's no marker here. So when you turn the car, I kind of want to get to the curb quite early. So it seems like a sort of late apex, but then you actually sort of adjust quite early in the corner. Because what you want to do is as you come over this curb, you want the car to set right here to the left hand side more, because then I can open up the next segment of corners. So as I'm coming through, still in second, I want to get on the curb, sort of in line with the little gazebo thing, and then let the car track out nice and wide, right? Get right to the curb on the edge. You turn in, it's a slight lift at the entry of this curb on the left hand side, so a little lift on the throttle. That'll help with rotation of the car. The car will start to rotate in, then you pick the throttle up, grab third gear, punch it through the corner, use all the curb, and you just want to flatline it, get up through the gears as quick as possible. And as you head towards under the bridge, you're going to grab fourth gear, and you want to start to set yourself up on the left hand side once you cross under the bridge, right? So start to set yourself up on the left. Now you'll see that the white line does that funny sort of angle again. So right at the point that it straightens up, so right here is where I start to brake for the next corner. Like I said, there's not a lot of markers around this place, so you've got to kind of use a little bit of your sixth sense with your sim racing here, and just sort of be adaptable to change, if that makes sense. So fourth gear, back to second on the braking entry. I turn in just as I pass the higher Armco fence in front of the flag marshal. So just before we like really start to get to the flag hut, I start to turn the car in at the corner. Now this corner's really unique in the way that you can actually, it looks like it tightens up a lot, but you can actually carry quite a lot of speed up over the crest, because as long as you hit that apex right at the top of the hill here, so you want to hit it when you're sort of in line with the water tower off in the distance. If you hit it here as you're coming up the hill, the car's going to slide off, right? But you've got the beauty that you've got all this little bit of escape road here that you can use. So it's obviously another part of the circuit, but yeah, you can really push the car right to the right to the edge. It's not really going to upset your balance through this part, because this part's all flat till you get to this escape road on the right hand side. So you can be a little bit further to the left to open it up a little bit, and it's not going to hurt your lap time. Now, as you come off this curb and you get to this little escape road here, I lift off the throttle to help the car rotate in and to slow it down ever so slightly, just so I don't like overrun the entry. I use 2 tyres over the curb. You want to get right up on that curb. Then, like, once you've got to that curb, you can start to pick the throttle up again, and then you don't have to lift again. So it's only that one little bit. You just got to lift just to help slow the car down enough that you can carry speed through here, but also just to keep a little bit of balance in the car. So flat through here, little bit of curb, and I'm not flat like at 100%. I'm like on the throttle, but it's not maxing out sort of thing, if that makes sense. Come off that curb, come over to this curb, and then you sort of see I'm sort of directly diagonaling the car from this last curb that we've just clipped. So, and then as I come down, I brake just before the end of the white curb on the left-hand side here. So it's about half a car length. Brake. And as I turn the car in, I turn the car in quite early here, because I need to follow the camber of the road down into the corner. So follow the camber of the road. 2 tyres on the curb's fine. Let the car rotate. Once it comes off the curb, you need to make sure you're like hard picking up the throttle. Start to pick the car up, run it down the hill, up to 3rd. Let the car chase right out to the edge of the road. Turn in at the end of the curb here. So once you get to the end of the curb, you start to turn in at the corner early in 3rd gear. You can use quite a lot of curb on the entry. Just be careful that the car lands properly. If the car doesn't land properly as you go down the crest, you're going to be chasing a heap of oversteer at some point. So you want to make sure, use the curb, but make sure you sort of get the car nice and straight as you're going down the hill, and you want to sort of diagonal from the outside left-hand curb here to the inside right-hand curb. So you sort of come on a diagonal down the hill, clip the curb ever so slightly here just to help with a little bit of rotation. The car's going to push off the apex because of the corner speed you're carrying. Let the car run right out to the edge of the road. Little lift to reset the car, and then pick it up by the end of the curb on the left hand side and carry all that speed out down the front straight. And there you go, guys. That is your walkthrough lap of the From the Beginning series track guides for week 1 in the Mazda MX-5 at Virginia International Raceway North Course. I really hope this has helped you guys to start your iRacing journey. I look forward to seeing you on track this week. Good luck for your racing, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.